Hey everyone, we're going to see how to scan for Bluetooth iBeacons using a Raspberry Pi or Raspberry Pi Zero W. So if you're not familiar with iBeacons, these are BLE, Bluetooth Low Energy devices that transmit a signal every X amount of time. The Raspberry Pi, at least the modules that have BLE support, will be able to pick up these signals and then do some kind of task. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be seeing how to pick up these signals using Node.js and a few various libraries. So this is particularly useful. So for example, maybe you want to scan for, maybe somebody carries around the iBeacons on their keychain and you want to be able to track their location and then maybe upload them to a server or send out a notification. You could absolutely do that. But regardless of the use case, it's still pretty cool and it's actually not very difficult to do. So as you see on my screen, I am connected to my Raspberry Pi Zero W through SSH. We will be alternating between my host machine, which is my Mac, and my Raspberry Pi. The first thing that we want to do is we want to download the particular Bluetooth Linux libraries, which we'll be using to be able to scan for these iBeacons before we actually worry about Node.js. So the first thing that we can do is we can say sudo apt-get install Bluetooth BlueZ lib Bluetooth dev and then libu dev -dev. So we'll just go ahead and say yes when it prompts us in a second. Nope, maybe it's not going to prompt us. That's fine. So what we're going to do while this is downloading is we're going to open up a new terminal tab and we're going to start developing our Node.js project. So a few things to note. So while you could technically test this project on your Mac or other computer, there are a few hoops that you got to jump through. So instead what we're going to do is we're actually just going to do our development on our Mac. We're going to do any kind of testing on the Raspberry Pi. Again, that's up to you what you want to do. This is just what I found easier for this particular example. So what we can do is I'm on my desktop. I'm going to create a new project. I'm going to call it BLE project, and I'm going to navigate into it. Then I'm going to say npm init-y to create a new Node.js project, and I'm going to download two packages. So I'm going to say npm install Noble. So this stands for Node.js Bluetooth Low Energy. I'm going to also install Node Beacon Scanner, and I'm going to say -- save. So let me break this down for you. So the Noble library allows us to pick up any kind of Bluetooth packets that are floating around. That's very useful, but the problem with this is that Bluetooth packets aren't just iBeacon, or beacons for that matter, because there are several different types of beacons. There's iBeacon, Eddystone, etc. In particular, we are interested in iBeacon, and we can easily parse out the packet information that comes in through the Noble library. But that's where the Node Beacon Scanner comes in, which makes it very convenient. What it is it's a wrapper. It wraps the Noble library, and it allows us to parse out specifically beacons. And then we can narrow it down further than that and specifically iBeacons without having to do any kind of parsing of the packet data. So that's all it is. We don't have to use the Node Beacon library. At a minimum, we do need the Noble library though. So I do have those dependencies downloaded. The next thing that we can do is we can create a file in our project. Let's go ahead and call it app.js and make sure that everything's there. And it looks like everything's there. So if I open it up in my editor, doesn't really matter what editor you use. I'm using Atom. You can use something else if you want. I'm going to open that app.js file. And we're going to do a few things. This code is very simple at a minimum, but you can always make it much more complex as you go along. So first up, we want to import Noble. So require Noble. We also want to include Beacon Scanner. Once we have those two imported, we can say var scanner equals new Beacon Scanner. So we'll initialize the scanner. And we're going to say scanner.start scan. And this is a promise. So once it's started, we can say something like console.log scanning has started. Doesn't really matter what you say. This is just to tell us that, hey, scanning is effective. The next thing, if we want to do, is we can say .catch. If there's an error, we can say, you know what, console.error error. All right, so we are scanning for beacons in particular in this example now. The problem with this is once we've found an advertisement for one of these beacons, we aren't actually doing anything. So we have to listen for advertisements. So what we can do is we can create a listener. So we can say scanner dot on advertisement equals advertisement, and we can define what we want to do. So in this case, we're going to say var beacon equals advertisement. We want the iBeacon information, and we also want the RSSI value. So we can say beacon.RSSI equals advertisement. But before that, you know what, actually what we're going to do is we're just going to print out the entire advertisement value. So let's go ahead and say console.log. Let's go ahead and say json.stringify. We're going to say advertisement, and we're going to pretty print it. So let's pretty print it with a few spaces. So what we're going to do is we're going to see everything that comes back in that advertisement. And then in our second iteration, we're going to only specify what we want. So let's go ahead and save it. Like I said, this code is very simple. What we can actually do is we want to remove the node modules directory. So we can say rm rf node modules. And the reason why we need to do this is because the modules for Mac probably won't work for ARM because there are native dependencies that need to be compiled during the download stage. So we're going to remove the Mac version. We're also going to remove the package lock file. But remember, because we did the -- save, if we look inside of our package.json file, both libraries are there. So when we do an npm install, wherever it may be, whether that be Raspberry Pi or Mac, it knows what dependencies to grab. So let's go ahead and we can actually navigate backwards. Let's go ahead and say zip, and we can say what did we call this? BLE project, BLE project.zip. I believe that's the command. Instead, actually, let's use tar, make it more Linux friendly. We can say tar czf, and then we're going to say BLE project.tar.gz. And we're going to say BLE project is the directory we want to tar. Let's go ahead and run it. And we can say, let's SCP it to our Raspberry Pi. So SCP, and we can say BLE project. And then the host is pi at raspberrypi.local. And we're just going to SCP it to our home directory on the Pi. Type in my password. It transferred it over. If I go back into my other terminal, which has finished downloading all of those Linux dependencies, I can do an ls. BLE project is there. Now I could have done all of my development on the Pi itself, but you know what? My Mac is much faster than the Raspberry Pi Zero W, so I'm going to continue to do all my development on the Mac, and I could always just SCP it over when I'm done. Let's go ahead and untar it. So tar xzf should be it. BLE project. Hit enter. It created a directory, so I'll navigate into it. It has my app file. It has my package.json. I'll say npm install. And I'll sit back and hopefully all of the dependencies from package.json are downloaded and installed. All right, so it finished downloading all of the dependencies. Now what we can actually do is clear the terminal, and we're going to try to run this application on the Raspberry Pi Zero. So I do have a few iBeacons floating around my office. So with luck, in theory, we should start seeing some packet advertisements soon. So let's go ahead and run the following. So sudo node app.js. And you'll be wondering, why am I using sudo to run this application? Well, in order to use Bluetooth services on Linux, you need to be using sudo, at least when it comes to the Raspberry Pi. So I'm going to hit enter. It's going to ask me for my password, or it may not on the Raspberry Pi. But now we see these packet advertisements coming in of my various iBeacon devices. And remember, I didn't actually specify what I wanted to return. This is just what that Node beacon scanner wrapper library returns for us. So let's go ahead and stop it. You'll see what's useful to me in particular, and maybe other things might be useful to you, but we want the iBeacon information, and we want this RSSI value, which is the power level, which can often be used to measure distance, the distance between iBeacon and the receiver. So this time around, let's just go ahead and do VI, and we'll say app.js. We'll edit this file. This time around, let's go ahead and remove that. Just removing the comment here. And for beacon RSSI, what we want to do is advertisement, and we want to say RSSI. Let's change this advertisement to now beacon. And we'll save it. And we'll try to run it again and see what happens. This time around, it looks like something a little more useful to me, maybe not to you. But we have the UUID, the information about the beacon itself, and the potential distance from the Raspberry Pi to the iBeacon. And if you're wondering what iBeacons I'm using, I'm actually using Gimbal beacons. These are $5 beacons. Gimbal is a child company of, I believe, Qualcomm. So for $5, it's definitely something cool to play around with. I know that there are better beacons than that, but for my test cases, this worked for me. So I'll go ahead and stop this. We'll just do a recap here. We installed a few Linux packages to work with Bluetooth. We also created a project that had two libraries here, Noble, which allows us to work with Bluetooth in Node, and then the beacon scanner library, which parses our packet data into only iBeacon stuff, or beacon, so Eddystone would fall under that category as well. And then basically we're starting the scan, and we're figuring out what we want to do with the advertisement data. And in reality, you might want to store this advertisement data in a database, or send out a notification. Whatever your use case is, I'm sure there's plenty.